Happy New Year, everybody. Glad to have you here. We're going to rock this hour with such great cheer. There you go. That's that conservative rap going on, baby bubba. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We are not ashamed of the good news of conservatism, for it is the power of liberation. First to the Republican and then the Socialist. You are live, as I am live, from Washington, D.C., the nation's capital. Yes, this is the Exceptional Conservative Show, live from the nation's capital. We are so glad that you're here in this new year. We are going to start it out right. There is so much stuff going on at TECN, the Exceptional Conservative Network. I will be talking with you about all that good stuff that's coming in this new year. We have just started growing. I'm just going to let you know that two big announcements tonight of how we are expanding. And on top of those two big announcements, some other great announcements, some very good friends joining us in terms of the writing at TEC. And I'm telling you, conservatism is about to take over urban America. Get out of the way. All you have to do is just submit. It's okay. It's okay. You had enough of that. All the years under the Democrats, under socialists, progressives, Marxists. Get used to this. And we're going to jam it the right way. I'm telling you. We're going to make conservatism look real good, baby bubba. I don't know why I'm on the baby bubba kick. Listen, tonight's show, don't let them steal your earned income tax credit. Listen, I am not necessarily a great proponent of the EITC, but since it's on the books and you're supposed to get it, why don't you get all of it? I'm going to show you tonight how to do that. Also, in the next hour at 10:05, we will be picking up live with BZ. Yes, Sir Mark the Bloviating Zeppelin. We're going to be talking about how Obama is defecating all over America on his way out the door. The door can't close fast enough for me and for a few others, I can tell you that. I am so excited about 2017, baby. And looking forward to Freedom Fest in July. I'm telling you, we're about to rock conservative. Business, talk, culture, the whole shipment. You just ought to bookmark this particular site, the Exceptional Conservative Show or the Exceptional Conservative Network. Just bookmark it, because you're going to be here a lot. I'm telling you, with the big announcements that we have coming, you're going to be here a lot. There we go. Claudia is in there. Everyone's so glad to have you here. Love you dearly. And of course, Mary Brockman, my bouncer. If you diss her, you diss me, you will be dismissed. For those of you who are NTECS, you can see the map and see people from around the world who are tipping in here to listen to this particular show tonight. And it's a very big show, very important show. It's about getting your money straight. Thank you, Mary. Mary says, I'm a vision in red. Thank you. I love you dearly, Mary. The place looks a lot brighter. I really like. Thank you. Thank you, Claudia. I'm telling you, we're about to do some massive stuff in 2017 that's just going to make the left so angry and so bitter, almost as angry and bitter as they are over the election in November that brought Donald J. Trump to power here in the United States of America. At least he will be on the 20th of January. We will be covering that live, the inaugural ceremony. We will be covering that live. There's a whole lot of other stuff that we'll be doing during the course of 2017. So I'm just anxious and excited to get this going. But you know how we get this thing really going on our program? And I know that we're going to have a lot of down low listeners tonight because we're going to be talking about taxes. I want y'all to be more profitable this year than you've ever been listening to my program. I want y'all to just prosper. I want y'all to plant y'all seed here and let us water it with His Spirit, and that you may harvest His truth. I want to see you all richer than you've ever been, more prosperous than you've ever been, more profitable, better givers than you've ever been. That's what I'm looking for in 2017. I want this to be known as the site people come to get better. I come to get better at this particular site, and we're going to have a great time doing so. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, you know what this plaque is, okay? And it is to pledge allegiance to the United States of America. If you don't, then you'll go 2 and 14, or 3 and 15, something like that, San Francisco. Your coach will get dropped and a few other things. So, ladies and gentlemen, Let us learn. It's the Pledge of Allegiance. For those who are watching us via Ustream, I want to thank the great people at Ustream who are carrying us live tonight in broadcast. There's some little flags right here you could pledge your allegiance to. For those who are watching us on live stream in terms of the rebroadcast, you're watching us on the big flag station, that is. Also want to thank High Plains Pundit Media. God bless Dan the Man Butcher and Jane, his wife, who does all the hard work. Uh, also, Sean Clint for SHR Media Live. They both are carrying us live. And for Red Nation Rising with Ron Phillips, I want to thank you all so much and wishing you all a happy new year. They carry us at 2 a.m. on their Liberty channel, Red Nation Rising. Hope you tuned into it. Ladies and gentlemen, let's get the kids going so that we can rock and roll 2017.
Parents, ready, begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Woo! There we go, ladies and gentlemen. That is a good way to start off the new year. Your kids will be going back to school tomorrow. I know you all are excited. Extremely excited about dropping your kids off. Please don't drop them off earlier than the bell, okay? Don't have them kids sitting outside at 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning waiting for their teachers to come, okay? Don't do that. Don't do that to them babies. I know you've had them for 2 weeks, and you loved them for the first couple of days that you had them, and maybe on Christmas, but now you're ready to drop them off. And teachers, stop drinking. you need to stop drinking right about here. School starts tomorrow on time. There's no snowstorms in the nation's capital, so you can't blame nature for you not being at school on time. So, ladies and gentlemen, please do whatever you can. Allow the party to end at this point. The winter break is over, and time now for kids to get back in school. Listen, Mrs. Biggs is resting this particular evening. Keep her in your prayers as we move forward. I'm trying to help my wife get to the point where she doesn't feel like she has to be here every night for my program. Beautiful young woman that she is. Sometimes I mean, she gets up at 4:30 in the morning. Uh, Teachers haven't had to drink for 2 weeks. Thank you, Mary. Oh, stop whatever y'all are doing. Just stop. Um, the simple matter is that for a lot of people, um, they don't understand the plight of being a teacher. My wife gets up at like 4:30 in the morning so she can get to work by 5:30, so she can prepare for the morning kids, and then she's not home until about 6:30 in the evening because she stays there for the whole day with the kids as a charter school teacher. So there is an immense amount of work, and then there's homework that they have to do. And I'm praying that she goes to ascertain her master's degree this year, so there'll be even more homework to do after school. So there's just so much that has to be done by teachers, and they literally, yeah, it's a very long day for her. They literally are the cultural buffers for our society. And so I want you to keep our teachers in mind and in prayer as we move forward in the new year. And listen, I'm not trying to baby any teachers. They chose their plight in life. They chose their career. But what I am saying to you is it is a challenging career with a great deal of work in it. And I'm encouraging you all to keep them in prayer. This is going to be a very long year. And there are some people who are in the teaching industry that are under the impression that if par chance, that this administration closes out the Department of Education, there will be no more schools. Um, I worry about your reasoning skills and analytical abilities and wonder why you're teaching our children. But beyond that, schools will always be here. They were here before there was a federal government. They will be here after there's a federal government. You have a very important job. Remember it always. Know that we're putting our trust and faith and confidence in God, who has chosen you to be the ambassador for education to our children. Remember that as we go to break. We'll be right back with more of the best right after these messages.
The Bloviating Zeppelin. He's big-footed enough radio shows to last a lifetime, courtesy of Sean, Clint, Ken, and Jersey Joe. Now it's time for him to waddle on his own 2 feet via the glorious SHR media. Gird thy loins for the Bloviating Zeppelin's Berserk Bobcat Saloon, coming soon to articles near you. Excelsior.
Times are dark. The people are misled by corrupt politicians, lied to by establishment media, and deceived by the false messages of Islam. A nation looking for direction needs a guide. It needs a man with a cane. I'm Dave Milner. Join me on Spreaker, SHR Media, Pundit Press, Live Rebooting Liberty, and YouTube for a unique brand of commentary on the unpleasant blind guy. Because the truth is not always pleasant.
Hey, it's Jersey Joe. Turn the reverb, common sense. You can catch me every Wednesday night, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on shrmedia.com. That's every Wednesday night, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, shrmedia.com.
Good morning.
I'm Michael Wright.
And I'm Shannon Wright.
Okay, folks, that's not how it goes. I think I'm Shannon, and
I
you're
think so.
Michael.
Yeah.
Okay. We are The Right Way with Shannon and Mike.
Join us from 7 to 9 a.m. Eastern Time.
Live on SHR Media.
And on TECN.
Where we'll be talking about all kinds of things.
From sports and politics.
To food and entertainment.
To money.
Family.
And anything else in between.
Community, holidays, all kinds of things.
It'll be great. Join us from 7 to 9 a.m. Eastern Time.
From the war front to the streets of our nation's capital, men of faith, Dr. Michael Jones, the underground professor, and Kenneth McClinton, the exceptional conservative, bring both constitutional gravitas and spiritual perspective on today's issues to the most influential Christian urban talk show, 9:05 p.m. Eastern, Thursdays. It's a new day on New Day, Black and Red.
Now, Brownells, we know you may have only one shot to harvest that trophy, so we have thousands of accessories and replacement parts to improve your chances. We know how much you love to shoot, so our Gunsmiths articles and videos will help you do more and get more out of your guns. We also value your hard work and money. That's why only Brownells backs up everything we sell with a 100% unconditional lifetime guarantee. Brownells, the world's largest supplier of firearm accessories and gunsmithing tools.
The best late-night conservative talk show in America, Taxman Radio. And listen, there are no people better on the air to give you the best in conservative talk than Taxman Sean and Taxman Clint. And we're working on the immigration papers for a certain other guy who happens to live here, too. For those who are tuning in around the world to the best late-night conservative talk, Taxman Radio.
Radio. Radio.
The best late-night conservative talk show in America. In America. In America.
And in this web was a large, I'm pretty sure it was the biggest spider I've ever seen.
Ladies and gentlemen, I want to welcome you back to the Exceptional Conservative Show live from the nation's capital. That chat room is filling up in it has everything to do with our dedication this year to make you more prosperous, to make you better than you've ever been. TECN, baby, is about to take off. We're about to get huge, baby. Huge, I'm talking about. Y'all been waiting a long time. We're moving into our 7th year. Remember, February 28, 2011, yours truly, the Exceptional One, came on the air. And now we are, the Exceptional Conservative Show is the #1 show on SHR Media, the #1 show on TECN. But that joy is about to spread big time as we are about to take on the archipelago known as Urban America. Ladies and gentlemen, I want you to know that I take this very, very seriously. We are about to take off. We are about to make conservatism look bold. You know what I'm saying, baby? I am so excited tonight. I am just awfully excited tonight. And I know I'm supposed to make 2 announcements at this moment, and at the end of this segment, I'm going to make, when we come back from the commercial break from those particular 2, I'm going to make 2 other announcements. But in 2017, we have already, you see the pose? You see the pose? Just do it, baby. For those who are watching on live stream and Ustream, I'm really excited. You should be excited with me. Today, we had the pleasure, and I had a great conversation this early morning. For those of you who know that the Exceptional One doesn't really sleep, I sleep about 2 to 3 hours a night or a day or whatever. But normally I'm up and I'm doing the broadcasting, the preparation for expansion, things of that particular nature. And had a wonderful conversation this morning with my very good friend, my Jewish brethren, my fellow Hebrew in the faith, Jeff Dunitz. He is the creator of The Lid, and his show is moving like gangbusters on SHR Media. I encourage that you take a listen of him at 2 p.m. Eastern Time in the afternoon. He is a glorious commentator, indeed. And so I see you with that red shirt on. Thank you. Everybody likes this. I like this color. I like the tie more so than the shirt, but thank you so much. White Mamba, thank you so much for being there yesterday for an American Conservative's exploration of the inspired Word of God, too. Thank you, sir. I enjoyed your words of encouragement. I want to thank also Claudia for being in there. Mary Brockman, my bouncer in chief. If you diss her, you diss me, you will be dismissed. And also Melanie Collette is in there tonight, the professor that she is. We had gotten to a point in our conversation where we were talking about, Ken, you need to be able to eradicate that niche that you're in called the urban marketplace, and because you are a conservative talk show host, and this is what he said, and I was really encouraged by it. He said, Ken, listen, whenever I listen to your show, I don't see the urban. Just like when people listen to my show, Jeff saying this, they don't see the Jew. They don't see any of that. They just see conservative. And so you have to be that conservative figure. And I thank him very much for encouraging me in that particular avenue. But I had to also explain that we have a niche that we're going for while we're doing crossover. And when I started this in 2011, only about 3 to 5% of black men were voting conservative. In the last election, they voted conservative for Donald Trump, 14%. That's a 300% increase since I started. And I am telling you right now, that market is open, especially if you begin to create jobs. And I don't know about the creation of jobs. I think that you open the opportunity by reducing taxes to create entrepreneurial opportunities that automatically create jobs within that community. You will truly repudiate the Keynesian theologies that were used over the past 7 to 8 decades in America and move us away from the plantation called the Democrat Party, better known as the Socialist Party today. And so I had a wonderful conversation with him. And at the end of the conversation, I had to ask him, Jeff, can we add your writings to the Exceptional Conservative Show? He said yes. And so, bam, there we are. When you go to the Voice of Liberty, now you will see not only the Voice of Liberty, my writings, but you will see the writings of Jeff Duntz, the lid, right in there with us. And in addition to that, BZ doesn't know this, but I added BZ's second announcement. Added BZ's writings. You're going to have his RSS feed at the Voice of Liberty. So every morning you can check out the Voice of Liberty. There's going to be something new and engaging in it. And I received the counsel and the chastisement of my mentor, Jeff Dunn. He says you got to get back to writing. And I explained to him with my writing style, it's usually about a 2,500 word essay. It takes a long while to put all that stuff together. He said, no, you got to break that up. And so, yeah, I need to get back to writing. And so I'm going to work on that in this coming year. After this next break that will be coming up, we will talk about the two big announcements of who's going to be joining the TECN family. Yes. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to talk with you tonight about, your taxes. I know many of you all made donations to Donovan Larkins, Pastor Donovan Larkins of Shekinah Ranch, so you can write that off on your taxes this year. However, any donations that you make to Donovan Larkins now won't be used until the tax year 2017. And I assure you that there are no tax breaks in 2016. There are none. No real tax breaks. So the bottom line is that you're stuck with this tax year. So what is the approach, first and foremost, that you should have in this particular tax year? I'm going to tell you that the number one thing, when I sat down with people and was performing tax preparation services for them, the number one thing that they forgot to do is take a look at their W-4. And I know some of you all are tuned in tonight and you're saying, wait a minute, I thought we were going to talk about the EITC. But guess what, baby? Guess what? The biggest mistake that people make is that they believe that the kid who's with them at age 1 is going to carry the same rate of return, a refund, at age 18. And it doesn't happen that way. You have got to go back, and you have to do this every year. You have to go back and make certain that your personal allowances match up to where you are in your financial life. What you talking about, kid? What you talking about? What's a W-4? Well, quite frankly, the W-4 is the gatekeeper to your payroll. No, I know you thought your wife was the gatekeeper, but no. She's the gatekeeper after you have gotten your payroll. The W-4 is the gatekeeper in terms of how much money you will be able to collect without having taxes taken from them, or the right rate of return of taxation for the pay that you get. Literally, some people who will be jumping in, some of you all are in states where they, like Seattle, cities like Seattle and Washington, D.C. and others that have jumped up your minimum wage. Well, some of you all are thinking, well, wow, I got an increase in my minimum wage from $10 an hour to $15 an hour. Let me make you understand something. The more money you make, the more taxes come out of it. So really, that minimum wage increase wasn't for you. It was for the government that realized that it was fewer you working, so they needed more money to cover the load. And what they don't understand is this. The more money that they have to pay for labor, the less laborers they'll have. So actually they've created not a windfall for themselves in terms of government, but a lessening or lacking in terms of revenue, which requires them to raise taxes. That's the bureaucratic way of dealing with economics. Free marketers like myself tell you, don't have a minimum wage at all. Your taxes will be low. You will make more money. But the more money you make, pay attention. When you got that increase in your payroll this year, you should have taken a look at your W-4. The more money you make, the more taxes you have to pay. I know. You ain't nowhere near Dr. Dre kind of money, $23 million house that you sell and all that kind of stuff. You ain't making that kind of, you ain't selling no Ciroc. You know what I'm saying? I know that. But the truth of the matter is, the more money you make, the more taxes you pay. It is the policy that you elected into office. Yes, you chose your own tax rate. So as a result of choosing your own tax rate, our founding fathers understood a long time ago, it's a republic as long as you can keep it. One of the detriments to a republic is raising taxes. And when people convince you that raising your taxes is going to make everyone else more happy, then you're going to get a very unhappy populace. I digress for a second here. Your W-4. What is your W-4? Your W-4, again, is your personal allowances worksheet. That personal allowance worksheet allows for you to know how much money is supposed to be taken out of your payroll. Now, some of you all have been paying a high amount of taxes unnecessarily. And so you have convinced yourself that the object of this game, and some of you have never played Monopoly. I can see that whenever you have walked into my office. You believe that the more money the government keeps, the bigger your refund will be, and the better off you will be during the course of a year. Let me make you understand what you just said. I believe in giving the federal government and my state government my wallet so that they can take as much money out of it. I consider it a 0% loan to the government, and then they will dole back to me after I have filled out a form and submitted it through an electronic version to the Internal Revenue Service, and have to wait 4 to 6 weeks to receive that money back to me. Money that they were misusing and misappropriating during the course of the year. So this is what I want you to do to better understand what I just said. Take your wallet, go over to your parents' house, and tell them to open it up and take out as much as they want as a loan. And that they have 12 months. You give the Internal Revenue Service 14 months loan at 0% rate out of whatever they want to take out of your wallet. Okay? Now I want you to do that with your parents. Just take it out. And the loan is 0%. They don't have to pay you any interest on it. And in order to get your money back, you have to fill out a form that they have 4 to 6 weeks to review and determine whether it's the right money back. Okay? So I want you to do that with your parents. Do you know how happy your parents will be this year? You know, if we did that, we would eliminate welfare, Social Security, and Medicare. If we just did that, simply. So literally, this gatekeeper, and I'm putting this in the chat room so that you'll be able to click on and follow what I'm about to do with you in terms of a personal worksheet. There are lots of people that had come into my offices when I was running a volunteer income tax assistance program. And they happened to be, when they started out, they were fine, like wine. And as they grew older, they were more like Ripple. But the bottom line is this. Come into the office, when you started doing this earned income tax credit thing, you have 4 kids. You were 20 years old. You were making bank. You were getting your hair done, did it. You were eating lobster and steak, and your kids were able to get whatever they wanted at the Giant. And so, that was good living. And you were able to keep that money. And some of you went out and got cars or whatever because you had some earned income tax credit money that came in. The truth of the matter is this. Some of you all should have been getting this money during the course of the year so that you would not have to be going through all of the conditions of life that you put yourself and your family through. So your personal allowance is the ability to keep the government from taking too much more money than they need. Now, there are some things that you need to know. Head of household. There are some things you need to know about head of household. Not everybody can be head of household. And stop giving your kids away to other people. I'm going to talk about that next Monday night. Stop giving your kids away to other people so that they can use them as a head of household tax break. Because the bottom line is the Internal Revenue Service has figured you out. They're coming after you and they want that money back. Just saying. So a head of household is someone who can claim by filing status on the tax return that you're unmarried and you pay more than 50% of the cost of keeping up a home for yourself and your dependents or qualifying individuals meet the IRS standard. We'll talk about that next week, baby. Y'all need to know not every person's a dependent. Not every person is a dependent. There might be some qualifying individuals, but not everyone's a dependent. So if you pay more than 50% of the cost, if you pay the cost to be the boss, you are the head of household if you are unmarried. Now, there are tax credits that come along, like the child tax credit and the dependent care credits that are available to you. They may be claimed apart from doing your personal allowance worksheet. And I want you all to know, for all those who are doing the EITC thing, you need to do this every year, period. For those who aren't doing EITC, you need to do this every year. Now, non-wage income. For those of you who are getting pension and annuity income, that is considered non-wage. Why is that important? Because it applies to your EITC too. If you receive pension and annuity money, you're not working, you don't have earned income, you no longer qualify for the earned income tax credit. All right? Disability income, some of you are going to ask about that regarding Social Security disability, SSDI. That's government income. That's non-wage. You don't qualify for the earned income tax credit. There is a disability income by which you can qualify for earned income credit. And that's if, and I'm glad you all are listening tonight, if you go out to that insurance company that has a duck that quacks, and they pay you after you took out a disability policy, they pay you a certain amount of money because you got injured on the job or something like that, or you got injured at home and you needed the income. That type of disability income is considered earned income, and thus you are eligible for the earned income tax credit in that fashion. So I'm going to just tell you all, many of you all have never had a disability policy in your life. You might want to take a look at it. As we're doing this show, on the next 4 weeks, we're going to be talking about taxes and finance every Monday night. I want you all to know I want you all to be bigger and better than you've ever been. And then there might be two earners in the household. Two earners in the household. So here it is. Your husband, okay, and I know some people do the tax thing where you got married, you were a single mama, you were married, you always file head of household, and that's just the way it's going to be. He ain't going to use your kids, and I don't want to mess up. Y'all need to pay attention because there are bigger benefits to being married than there are head of household. Just saying. It's cheaper to keep her. It's better to have her when it comes to doing your taxes. So with the two earners in your household, you got to make certain that you each are not claiming such a high number of allowances that you end up owing a whole lot of taxes. So one of you should always claim at least one, and the rest of the allowances for the other, or however way you work it out, so that you don't end up owing the man. All right. Who is Obama? Obama is your tax lord. There you go. Now, let's go down to the, if you want to click on, and you're in the chat roll, the TECN Limited, wait a minute, forgive me, the Euro-Pacific Bank Limited TECN chat roll, if you're there at the Exceptional Conservative Show, then I recommend highly that you click on to that link and you begin to do the worksheet with me. It only is going to take a few moments, okay? And in fact, when we come back from the break, I'm sorry. When we come back from the break, ladies and gentlemen, we'll talk about the EITC. We will also talk about finishing out your personal allowance worksheet. You do this, you'll keep more money in your pocket the way you were supposed to be. The objective about doing taxes is you're supposed to keep the money. The IRS is supposed to ask for it, not take it. We'll be right back with more of the best right after these messages.
So, what do you think about ebooks? Maybe you've never read an ebook before, but you're considering giving it a try. Or maybe you've been reluctant to try ebooks because you don't want to buy another expensive electronic device. Or maybe you already enjoy ebooks, but you haven't been able to find titles from your favorite Christian authors. Whatever your situation, ChristianBook.com has the solution. Your trusted source for print books for over 30 years now offers ebooks. Our always free CBD reader allows you to read on the devices you already own without spending money on a new device. Thousands of Christian ebooks at ChristianBook.com means you can shop with confidence and choose from the titles you want. Plus, we are adding new titles all the time. Browse our huge selection of low-priced Christian ebooks the same way you would printed books, only now you can go from shopping to reading in seconds. Simply select the ebook you wish to purchase, confirm your account information, and start reading. Free samples of every ebook are available, so you can preview the book first, before you buy it. Plus, there's no lengthy app downloads and updates. Accessing the CBD Reader is as easy as going to cbdreader.christianbook.com and bookmarking the page. The CBD Reader holds your ebooks and bookmarks for you, no matter what device you're on. So, you can take your entire ebook library wherever you go and pick up right where you left off. Our customizable options make it possible to read your ebooks in different font sizes and styles. Want a large print version? You've got it in seconds with a simple click of the mouse. Already own a dedicated e-reader? Download your ebooks to your computer from your ChristianBook.com account and transfer them to your device. Try ebooks at ChristianBook.com and start reading your favorite books in seconds. Easy, economical, everywhere you want to read. Welcome to ChristianBook.com ebooks.
Good morning.
I'm Michael Wright.
And I'm Shannon Wright.
Okay, folks, that's not how it goes. I think I'm Shannon and
I think
you're
so.
Michael.
Yeah.
Okay. We are The Right Way with Shannon and Mike.
Join us from 7 to 9 a.m. Eastern Time
Live on SHR Media,
and on TECN.
where we'll be talking about all kinds of things,
From sports and politics
the food and entertainment,
to money
family,
and anything else in between.
community, holidays, all kinds of things.
It'll be great. Join us from 7 to 9 a.m. Eastern Time.
Ladies and gentlemen, I welcome you back to the Exceptional Conservative Show live from the nation's capital. We are not ashamed of the good news of conservatism, for it is the power of liberation, first to the Republican and then the Socialists. So glad to have you here tonight as we talk about the EITC, the Earned Income Tax Credit. Listen, I'm not a big fan of it. I think you would do far better if the government stopped involving itself in terms of trying to pay you to stay in poverty. However, it's there on the books, and I want you to be able to use it successfully. White Mamba in the chat room clearly states that is all it is about in tax land. Getting a quick $50 and trying to scam the EIC by using the tax guy as a middleman where everyone plays dumb. Sorry, I'm a cynic. Use a friend, TurboTax, etc., and quit letting tax prep companies steal your return and fees for doing what you can do for yourself. Get a tax lawyer if you need one. He is absolutely, positively right. Some of you all go out and just find someone with a number 2 pencil to do your tax return, and they charge you up the yang for doing so. Please stop doing that. You can go to the volunteer income tax assistance programs in your state, in your city, and they will for free take care of your earned income tax credit. And some of you all say, well, I need my money right now. I need it today. I can't wait. Well, that's probably because you didn't do the W-4. And number 2, you created your own financial chaos. The best thing you can do is make sure that you get your money during the course of the year, as you should. And then number 2, do not have someone help you. Well, at the federal level, they won't do that anymore. But at the local level, help you pay fees for a loan on your own money. You gave the federal government a 0% loan to hold for 14 months. and then you're applying an application to get it back electronically, and then you're going to pay somebody to help you do that, when you have a very simplistic form of 1040A, where literally your 6-year-old can fill that out. You don't need that. You don't need someone. You don't need to pay anyone to do your tax. You don't have any retirement or business issues or itemizations issues. You can do it simplistically. And we'll be showing you that over the next few months. White Mamba is absolutely right. Do not allow people to steal your EITC money. Let me work with you on the air to help you get your financial situation right in 2017. So when the new year comes around, the next time around, you already got your money. You ain't worried about this particular issue. It would just be one of those, I don't even know why we're talking about this. But here we go. When you're looking at your personal allowance worksheet, section A of that says enter 1 for yourself if no one else can claim you as a dependent. Now, the reason why I say that is because on your payroll stub, some of you all carry like 4 allowances, but you actually qualify for 7. I'll show you that. The better off you are doing that during the course of the year, the more money you keep, which means you can pay off your bills more quickly, more soundly, and you're not in a financial duress with the Internal Revenue Service. So under A, always enter 1 for yourself. That's just a guarantee right off the bat, 1 for yourself. If you're married and you know that she has 18 and you have 1, that's cool. You know what I'm saying? You're going to end up paying taxes eventually. But the bottom line is make certain that at least one of you only has 1. Now, B, here's where you enter 1 if you're single and have only 1 job. If you're single and only have 1 job, enter 1. Now, some of you all are single and you know that you make a buku amount of money. You may choose not to add 1 there at B. It's up to you. But as long as you plan ahead, you save the money so that if they come around and they say the taxes are a little higher than you expected them to be, you can pay for it. So enter 1 if you're single and only have 1 job. The other one is you're married, have only 1 job, and your spouse doesn't work. You can enter 1 there. And the last one is your wages for a second job or your spouse's wages or the total of both are $1,500 or less. Okay, so be wary if you're married how you handle filling out your individual personal allowances worksheet. So say if you are a single mama, right now you should have 2 already picked out. C, if you're a single mama, you don't have to worry about that because you don't have a spouse. Now here's the D portion of this. Enter the number of dependents. And so tonight we're taking a look at that W-4. Enter the number of dependents other than your spouse and yourself you will claim on your tax return. This is the time that you need to talk to your kid who's in college, because your kid in college may go ahead right now and do a 1040 easy so they can get some quick cash money back to them. And they really think $300 is big cash money when actually they destroy your opportunity to claim them on your tax return. Hold the conversation now. Not when you do your tax return. Hold it now. Tell them some of them are getting ready to get back on the plane to go back to school. Tell them while they packing, I'm planning on claiming you. Don't screw me. So enter the number of dependents you will claim on your tax return. If you have 4 kids and they're under age 16, they're all in school, and you're a single mama, now you have 4 dependents. Now remember, I said some people will choose 4 and let it ride. You already, based on A, B, and C, and D, have 6 allowances. That means more money stays in your pocket during the course of the year, so you don't have to worry about this end of the year fight to find somebody who's going to steal your EITC money. After that, letter E. Enter 1 if you are filing head of household. Bam! Now you have added 1 more. You now have 7 allowances, which means more money stays in your pocket, less money goes to the government. You're going to be all right. Now, on letter F, enter 1 if you have at least $2,000 of child or dependent care expenses. You got that baby age 6 years old in the after-school program that you're paying for, not that the government's paying for. If the government's paying for it and you're not paying a dime for it, you don't get that deduction. You don't get that credit. However, if you're paying out of your pocket, and this is why you should ask right now. Don't wait until the end of this month and then start calling the school. Ask the school to give you a printout with their tax identification number and their address and information on it and telephone number that gives you the outcome in terms of what you have been paying on a monthly basis or yearly basis for daycare. They should be able to give you a summation that you're going to use. If you have at least $2,000, you should add one. Okay, so say if you have out of those 4 kids, 1, now you have, instead of 7, you have now 8 allowances. And then the child tax credit. I want you all to understand something. The child tax credit is not forever. The child tax credit is not forever. By the time you turn age 16, that child tax credit is going away. All right, so be very careful with that. So if your total income will be less than $70,000, enter 2 for each eligible child. Remember those 4 children? Okay. There you go. You have 2 times 4. That gives you 8. Wait a minute. You once put in 4 and you waited to file a big return to come to you where you waited. Did you not know that you were eligible for 15 allowances, which means that you get all of your money during the course of the year and you still don't have to worry about owing on taxes? Do you understand the power of that W-4? Now you're not waiting for someone to do something for you that you can do for yourself. That's freedom. Freedom comes with markets, free markets, and understanding how to use them. Freedom means that I'm not under the foot and sweating because the IRS is pounding on my door. Oh, they're gonna come and get me. It is time for you to be liberated from the strain of always being under the foot of your tax lord. Ladies and gentlemen, do your W-4 and do it this year. When we come back in the second hour of our program, we will talk about the EITC and how to do it right. I suggest you do me a great favor. Well, actually, do your friends a great favor. After we talk with BZ, we'll talk about the EITC. And simply put, make certain that your friends are online and listening to you listening to us right now. If you listen now, you will prosper. If you wait, well, you might perish. I want you to have every single dollar that's due you. Every single dollar. Do your W-4. And once again, I'm going to put that link in the chat roll. The Euro Pacific Bank Limited TECN chat room, and you can find that at theexceptionalconservativeShow.com, where we are airing live right now, and we have quite a number of people. White Mamba understands what I'm talking about because he does this stuff as well, and they're talking about getting their EITNs and things prepared and renewed. He's working with Liberty Tax. Congratulations to you. So right now, there are people who are planning, and he's right. There are crooks out there who are planning to take your wealth, this is your money. Why are you willing to give it away? You won't give to me or to the poor. If you walk right past them. Just think of it this way. If I were to charge you 2% on what you are supposed to get for the EITC, say the maximum amount you're supposed to get is $6,300 and some odd dollars, but we'll round that off to $6,000. 2% of that is $120. Why would you give me $120 for what you can do for yourself? I'm going to show you over the next 4 weeks how to do this for yourself so that you do not get robbed. You don't need TurboTax and all those other things. If you can't, you can do it if you want or whatever. But literally, you can go to the Internal Revenue Service. They have a website. You can do your tax roll just like that. Or you can go to the Volunteer Income Tax Assistance Program where they do not charge you. And some of them are better trained than H&R Block, Liberty Tax, and so on because they've been doing this stuff for 20 or 30 years. They know the handbook. They know all that stuff inside and out. Some of them are CPAs. Some of them are attorneys. Some of them are registered agents. Others have been trained and taken the examinations from the Internal Revenue Service itself. Also, one other thing, and I know I have to go to break here, but one other thing. Please find someone to counsel you on your tax return. Don't think that you're going to pick up the phone on April 14th and call the 1-800 number to the IRS and they're going to give you the answer that you want. If you call the Internal Revenue Service 3 times for the same question, you may get 3 different answers for the same question. Make certain that you understand this, and you'll find this out in the second half of our program. Lest you go to someone who is authorized to represent you in the tax court. The tax court, people. They're the only ones that will be able to represent you before the Internal Revenue Service. That means that whoever did your tax return and taking their profit from you, you will never see again. And if there's a mistake on that tax return, you are responsible for it. Just saying. Just saying. Be very careful in this tax season that you find someone who is trained. Mary Brockman says AARP will train you. That's true. But you can go directly to the volunteer income. And I prefer people who go through the volunteer income tax assistance program. I know I have my biases there, but literally, VITA is one of the best training organizations with the Internal Revenue Service. They are free tax return preparation for qualifying taxpayers. I remember when I was doing it, and I was grandfathered in, I did tax returns for individuals who were making $200,000 a year. Okay, it didn't matter to me. So the bottom line is that you want to make certain that you have someone who will do your tax return, who is skilled in that particular area. Under the VITA program, as I was grandfathered in, others don't have that type of luxury or expertise. And so they're limited in scope of serving individuals who are earning less than $54,000 a year. If you're earning less than $54,000 a year and you tell me that H&R Block did your tax return, I'm going to slap you silly on the streets. We'll be right back with more of the best in Urban Conservative Talk right after these messages. I promise you I will.
Now, Brownells, we know you may have only one shot to harvest that trophy, so we have thousands of accessories and replacement parts to improve your chances. We know how much you love to shoot, so our gunsmiths articles and videos will help you do more and get more out of your guns. We also value your hard work and money. That's why only Brownells backs up everything we sell with a 100% unconditional lifetime guarantee. Brownells, the world's largest supplier of firearm accessories and gunsmithing tools.
With home values up and interest rates near all-time lows, you probably know that now is a great time to refinance, like the Johnsons, who saved $436 a month.
$436 a month?
It's simple. Just go to LendingTree.com, compare loan offers for free, and see how much you could save in just 5 minutes.
I thought you said the bank gave you the best rate.
Yeah.
Lending Tree. When banks compete, you win.
I have to do everything myself.
Someone is sleeping on the couch tonight.
Hi, my name is Christopher Arnold. I'm the executive chef of Infused Restaurant, and today I'm going to walk you through some of the meals that we prepare here. We're making a pizza. We use fresh Italian sausage that we cook here and slice it up. Our pizza dough is in-house made. Our pizza sauce is in-house made. So everything is fresh ingredients. Thai curry chicken. The sauce is made with coconut milk and the Thai red curry. It is juicy chicken thighs as well as some mixed vegetables, served with jasmine rice and pita bread. So now we're going to prepare our famous blackened tilapia and grits, our fish and grits on the menu. Once the fish is ready, then our meal will be complete. Let me tell you about our infused heat burgers. When we kick the spice up just a little bit with our infused sauce. We start off with 80-20 USDA round chuck ham patty burgers, like half a pound of burgers, and we're gonna grill it to perfection. After I flip the burger, we add the sauce and let it cook on into the meat just a little bit. We're gonna add a little bit of pepper jack cheese to this burger to spice it up a bit.
Ladies and gentlemen, I can't wait to Thursday night. Thursday night is the night that I know we do New Day Black and Red here on the Exceptional Conservative Network with the underground professor, Dr. Michael Jones, and it'll be the first one of the new year. But also, we should have back with us the illustrious, unpleasant blind guy, Dave Milner, who was taking a vacay, because he's wealthy like that. He takes vacays. Well, I'm going to actually get the exceptional one, the double burger, double the bacon. I mean, it's as big as my face right here. And I ate that bad boy. That's delicious. I'm going to have that burger right here. And when that commercial plays, I'm going to eat it right in front of Dave Milner right there because he's my friend. And that's the kind of guy I am. Ladies and gentlemen, 6339 Allentown Road, Temple Hills, Maryland. I love their food. I love the exceptional one. Huge burger. But there's so much more there. Claudia has been there. Others have gone. And they will tell you the food is great. And 6339 Allentown Road, they have great hours. Their brunch is decent. It's actually more than decent. It is decent. It is absolutely a voluptuous meal to have. Make it your place to eat Monday through Sunday. I'm telling you, it is a wonderful, wonderful place indeed. Ladies and gentlemen, we are continuing our desire to raise $10,000 for Shekinah Ranch. And it's very simple. There are children out there who are being manipulated and taken advantage of. And I want you to know that we support Pastor Donovan Larkins, and if you really want to get your year started right, make a donation to protect the innocent. There's a red button you'll see on some of the pages that says donate today, protect the innocent. You can click right on that button and make your donation. We thank everybody who made their donation in 2016. We hope in 2017, this month in fact, to reach that goal.
Welcome to Protecting Innocence. I'm Pastor Donovan Larkins, and we're going to share with you from a biblical view, but from also a world view of what's going on in our world. Child molesters and sexual predators are growing daily. The sex offender registry is growing in some parts of the country 40% a year. There are close to 800,000 registered sex offenders in the United States of America. Pedophiles are lobbying to legalize sex with children daily in Washington, D.C. Why would our government entertain pedophiles to gain legalization and in spite of the fact that they're hurting children? Several organizations estimate over 500,000 children will be born this year, and they will be sexually abused before they turn 18 if we do not prevent it. So here's the deal. Today's word of protection is scrutinize. Yes, scrutinize. Today's liberal society wants to tell us that to scrutinize is to be unloving. To scrutinize is to be, unchristian. Let me give you a definition of scrutinize. Scrutinize means to examine or inspect closely and thoroughly. Customers were warned to scrutinize the small print. That's an example of what scrutinize is. And today I'm letting you know that parents, you are your child's number one defense against child molesters. That means you have to do your job. That means you have to really step up your parenting. And so today's word for you parents is scrutinize. Scrutinize the relationships that your children have. Scrutinize those adults and children that seek to be in your children's life. Scrutinize, examine, determine whether or not they're good for your children or not. Sexual predators are not going to come out. Child molesters are not going to come out and say, I'm a child molester. So therefore, you have to do your job. Effective parenting will scrutinize the relationships that you have in your life, or you will scrutinize the relationships that are in your children's life. What kind of relationships? Well, a coach. Scrutinize that relationship. And I say scrutinize it to the point, if necessary, that it will be like a thorn pricking that relationship, because then you'll get to know what the true nature of it is. Don't ignore the obvious. I have a policy in my life. When someone shows me who they are, believe it. And so many children could have been prevented the pain of victimization if they just had a parent or parents visiting the school on a semi-regular basis, asking the neighbor, can I come and visit you because your son or your daughter is spending time with my daughter or my son. Walking into someone's home, you can really size up what kind of lifestyle they live. The computer. Scrutinize what your children are watching on the computer. Scrutinize the kind of relationships they say they have on Facebook. Scrutinize is today's word of insight and authority. Now listen to this. Your child's teachers, coaches, scrutinize them. Let them know you will be evaluating their relationship with your children. Without scrutiny, a person can go bad and you won't even know it. That means someone could be good today and then decide that they want to feed off of pornography at night, and then your child ends up being the victim. So, scrutinize. Scrutiny is our word today. Parents, your relationship and your protection over your children is their number one defense against child molesters. This is not a joke. Child molesters are penetrating every avenue of our society. Church. Watch what church you go to, because let me tell you something. When you let down your guard and when you let down your defense, the molester will be there. Be well. Be safe.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to tell you once again, and for those who are listening to tonight's show, the Exceptional Conservative Show, live from the nation's capital, where we are not ashamed of the good news of conservatism, for it is the power of liberation, first to the Republican and then the Socialist. Mary Brockman, my bouncer in chief, is in the chat roll. love her dearly in this great new year, and everyone else who's in the chat room. For those who are listening tonight, I'm going to show you how to do your 1040 EZ simply, quickly, fast, and aptly over the next 4 weeks. For those who would have gone out and spent $50 to $150 to get your tax return done for free, all you need to do is make that donation to protect the innocent. That's all you got to do. You simple donation saying thank you. But I'm going to show you how to do it quick, fast, in a hurry, and aptly. You will have no problems with the Internal Revenue Service of doing your 1040 easy. And some of you all are going to learn so well, you'll be able to do your 1040A again without having to spend a single dime through someone who wants to steal your EITC. Make that donation to protect the innocent. Ladies and gentlemen, a man who needs no introduction, but we give him one anyway because he is one of America's great writers. And we have added his work to our network. He is not only so calm, so serene, that he is like a sharpened knife piercing into one's heart with the voice of truth. None other than BZ, the Bloviating Zeppelin. Sir Mark is with us right now. Good evening, sir.
Well, good evening to you, sir, Ken. He's as calm and serene as watching a cube of ice melt on a Formica counter, or perhaps going down to a nearby peninsula near the ocean and taking a gaze at the submarine races. That's how serene I am.
See, that's the man. That is the man. So loved and so adored. BZ, thank you so much for allowing us to put your material on our website for people to peruse from around the world.
Well, Happy New Year to you, Ken. Happy 2017.
Happy 2017 to you. Happy New Year, sir.
I hope it's better than 2016.
It will be huge. That's all I got to say.
I'm ready. I'm absolutely ready for that.
This is going to be a tremendous year. Now, I want to let people know, a lot of you all hired Donald Trump because you thought that you were going to get a tax break immediately. That may not happen as fast as you think it will. Most of what's going to happen will show up in the business marketplace in the third and fourth quarter. Your reward won't come until next year. But nevertheless, it's going to be a gangbusters economy after the third quarter of this year. It's going to be wonderful, absolutely wonderful.
In a nutshell, here's what I think you're going to get with Donald Trump. If you think he's going to go a straight conservative ticket all the way down, you're in for a rude surprise. If you think that he's going to change his stripes and go hard left, you're in for a rude surprise. If there's one thing that Donald Trump is, it's a pragmatist. And I think he prides himself on running things like a business. And I think it's about time, it's past due time, for the government to be run like a business. And people are saying, well, why does he have so many military people installed in his cabinet so far? And I would suggest to you it's because he likes people that can actually make a decision, have been trained in a regime of making decisions, and know that not making a decision can lose lives.
Yeah.
So they are in fact decision makers. And the people, here's one of the specious arguments that leftists are saying with regard to Donald Trump and his installation of military people. Let's step back for reality, because leftists won't ever tell you this. Who was George Washington?
He was a commander-in-chief.
Military general.
Yes!
And he was our very first president. Imagine that.
Yes.
Who was Dwight D. Eisenhower? Oh, that's right. He was a military general.
Yes.
And then there's another one from the Civil War. Anyone remember him? He was a general also.
Grant.
So the fact that we haven't had military people installed in high positions is historical Alzheimer's on by way of the leftists. They'd just rather not remember anything about that.
You know, it's funny that the leftists don't remember that John F. K. served in the Navy. You know?
Yes, he did. And unfortunately, it was part of that accident that he got into in PT-109 when a Japanese destroyer struck essentially his wooden boat in the Pacific Theater. He had some terrible back injuries, and he was always under constant pain. If you read the book Camelot by Gerald Hirsch, you'll find out that he was in immediate and constant pain, and that he had to have a back brace. And unfortunately, he was wearing his back brace the day in the rear seat of the car that he was assassinated, and it was that by way of that back brace that he was sitting so incredibly vertically erect in the back seat, making the shot just a little bit easier for the sniper. It was the back pain that actually helped to get him assassinated. A very, very sad story.
A sad story indeed. We're talking with BZ tonight, Sir Mark, the Bloviating Zeppelin. You can read his work at bloviatingzeppelin.net. You should read his work at bloviatingzeppelin.net. But if you're lazy, you can stay on the Voice of Liberty page here at the Exceptional Conservative Show.com, and you can click on it and read his great work. A tremendous writer, a great commentator indeed. Also, the second worst president in the history of the United States of America was a physicist in the U.S. Navy, James Earl Carter.
Yes, he was. He was trained for nuclear submarines and also went to the father of the nuclear navy, whose name escapes me. They rub his nose, his bronze nose, for good luck before they take the tests. Rickover, Admiral Hyman Rickover, the father of the nuclear navies, and James Carter went to nuclear school for submarines. He was an officer in the U.S. Navy.
It's amazing how the leftists, the Marxists, the socialists, the bureaucrats of America can't remember that they were involved in the military themselves. And quite frankly, one of the reasons I believe that you want military personnel is that they understand how to take not only command, but take order.
Yes, they do.
Mm-hmm.
Here's the other thing that I suggest that they have over most any civilian personnel as well as in all. I don't quite know how we got on this topic, but I don't mind taking it and running with it.
Go for it.
That's this. The military is going to tell this to Donald Trump. You have us and we're a tool. You use us to apply in these two fashions only. You do not apply us as a social engineering site because we're not damn much interested. What you do use us for, however, is to kill people and break shite. And if you're not interested in doing both of those simultaneously, then you don't apply us. Mm-hmm. If you don't have a plan, mm-hmm. if you don't have a strategy using tactics and maneuvers, then you should not apply us at all, because guaranteed, all of those military personnel that he's picked and all the people that we will be serving under them in the military have all seen the dead bodies of American soldiers through past wars. And they'll all trust me on this so very much. They'll all be doing their level best to safeguard our boys and girls, our sons and daughters, before they send them off to some damn foreign war somewhere. That's what they'll be telling Donald Trump, and that's why they're also valuable.
Indeed. Indeed. You got to have not only a reason to go, but a strategy to get out. And they can't be for eternal periods like in Afghanistan. We're talking tonight with Sir Mark, the Bloviating Zeppelin. You will find his work not only at the Voice of Liberty here on the ExceptionalConservative.com, but also at the BloviatingZeppelin.net. When we come back, I want to talk with you about how Barack Hussein Obama is defecating all over America before exiting stage left. You don't want to miss this conversation. We'll be right back right after these messages.
Thank you for the taking the call. And I really enjoy ICRN, your station, the station I listen to all day.
Okay, thanks, Dominique, for that.
I don't.
From the war front to the streets of our nation's capital, men of faith, Dr. Michael Jones, the underground professor, and Kenneth McClinton, the exceptional conservative, bring both constitutional gravitas and spiritual perspective on today's issues to the most influential Christian urban talk show, 9:05 p.m. Eastern, Thursdays. It's a new day on New Day, Black and Red.
Is your PC causing major headaches? Now there's an easy way to make your computer run like new again. Introducing System Mechanic, America's #1 PC performance software. System Mechanic scans your entire PC for over 200 different types of errors. It then automatically fixes even the most stubborn and frustrating PC problems, restoring full speed and stability in minutes. Visit runlikenew.com to try it free.
Meet Jason. He was really excited to start growing his business with social media until he realized how complex and time-consuming social media can be. It's difficult to manage multiple social networks and accounts. It's hard to monitor what's happening on social media, follow discussions, and engage with new followers. It's time-consuming to publish updates throughout the day, track and analyze how effective posts are, respond to fans and followers in a timely manner, and gain new customers. The list seems to go on and on. Jason quickly becomes discouraged. How could he ever do all of this and still run a business? He was ready to give up on social media until he found eClincher, the easiest way to manage social media. Jason was amazed how straightforward and simple it is to use eClincher. With eClincher, Jason is now able to leverage the power of social media without having to dedicate several hours a day. He can easily organize all his social media accounts in one place, efficiently plan and schedule his posts ahead of time, engage with his followers, understand the effectiveness of his efforts with powerful analytics, find new customers, and much more. In order to tell your business's story, simplify the process of managing your social media, and analyze results, sign up with eClincher today.
Now, Brownells, we know you may have only one shot to harvest that trophy, so we have thousands of accessories and replacement parts to improve your chances. We know how much you love to shoot, so our Gunsmiths articles and videos will help you do more and get more out of your guns. We also value your hard work and money. That's why only Brownells backs up everything we sell with a 100% unconditional lifetime guarantee. Brownells, the world's largest supplier of firearm accessories and gunsmithing tools.
Ladies and gentlemen, I want to welcome you back to the Exceptional Conservative Show live from the nation's capital, where we certainly are not ashamed of the good news of conservatism, for it is the power of liberation. We're talking tonight with Sir Mark, the Bloviating Zeppelin from bloviatingzeppelin.net. Sir Mark, you did a wonderful piece earlier last week, and that piece was very assertive. It spoke to exactly how this particular president has smeared the peanut butter of secretions upon our lives on the way out the door. Go forth and speak about that great writing that you did.
Well, essentially, it's done on an unprecedented scale, and Obama himself has made no secret that when he exits stage left, obviously, instead of stage right, he plans to stay in D.C. and continuing to throw excrement in the proverbial punch bowl, so to speak. So he makes it quite clear he's not gone away. If he'd been able to have a third term, and we all heard this, and he should have been given a third term, all you have to do is ask him, he would have continued on his same path. Pelosi, for example, said today that the Democrats are not doing anything wrong, meaning that they're going to double and triple down on exactly what they've been doing for the past 8 years. Wonderful. Outstanding. I say, keep it up. But like a little spoiled, petulant little kid who's been told that he can't have any candy and he can't have something, he's moving in basically a unilateral direction to make sure that he can be as troublesome as possible for President-elect Donald Trump. And the quote that I have in the article that I think is priceless, and it nails it in a nutshell. It's no secret that I'm an admirer of Milwaukee County Sheriff David Clark. And he had a wonderful quote at what's happening with Obama. And he said, Obama is like a tenant who's been evicted from a property, and he's going to trash the place on the way out.
Yep.
And it's true.
Yep.
It's absolutely 100% true. You know, people ask about the Obama doctrine. People were saying that basically every president has had some kind of a doctrine. Well, the Obama doctrine is this, and he's proud of it, to lead from behind. And so the funny thing is, now at the last 20 days, well, actually 18 days before he leaves, stage left, he and the media have suddenly decided that they're going to turn from elk to hawk. And why is that? Why is it here and now? Because it serves his narrative and it serves their narrative to do that. And it's all because of a deflection from an election that Hillary Clinton lost.
Yes.
The reason he's doing all of these things and the reason that he's pouring on all this crap at the end of his term is because he and she and every other Democrat fully expected that Hillary Rodham Clinton, December 8th, would have been coronated as Queen, dictator of the United States of America. So, knowing that those were going to be the results, they all believed that they had a lot of time in which to completely socially engineer the rest of the United States and fundamentally transform it, as they promised to do. Well, they sure as hell have. Oh my gosh, then a piece of excrement fell into their punch bowl by the name of the orange dead cat that's sitting on the head of a man named Donald Trump, because he won. Now they figured it's time to kick things up into high gear because all the extra time that they thought that they'd have is no longer there. And part and parcel of it is the Russians did it, and of course, for those of you just tuned in, the Russians did it. Well,
exactly.
Except for this one little teeny weeny little bit of fact. Oh, I'm sorry. Here's the statement, the thought, the maxim of the Democrats, and that's this: never let facts, history, logic, rationality, proportion, or common sense get in the way of a good fracked up decision. And so they're letting that occur right now. So just tonight on Sean Hannity's show, because I happened to watch it, he was interviewing Julian Assange of WikiLeaks.
Wow.
And basically Sean Hannity said, can you say to the American people unequivocally that you did not get this information about the DNC, John Podesta's emails? Can you tell the American people 1,000% that you did not get it from Russia or anyone associated with Russia? Julian Assange just got through saying, yes, we can say. And we have said repeatedly that over the last 2 months that our source is not the Russian government and that it is not a state party.
Mm-hmm.
And that's true. He said it quite some time ago. Barack Obama said it, that the Russians had nothing to do with the election.
Exactly.
If anything, the Russians would have wanted Barack Obama in office or wanted Hillary Clinton in office, because if you remember, it was Barack Obama during the 2012 debates that said to Mitt Romney, oh, Mitt, you're so behind the times. The 1980s are calling and they're asking for the foreign policy back because you say that Russia's a bad actor. And then in 2009, Hillary Clinton had that Russian reset, where she delivered, this is wonderful, as a gift, literally a gift, this red button to Russian foreign leader Sergei Lavrov in this press conference. And the reset button, which was red, had some text on the top. And the Russian language label at the top of the button had the wrong word on it. So instead of reset to read in Russian, it read overcharged instead of reset. Even the Democrats screwed that up. I almost said the F word, sorry. Almost screwed that up. Then let's not forget, rather, that also back in 2012, during the election, it was Mr. Obama who said kind of sotto voce over the microphone, he didn't realize it was still hot, to then Russian President Dmitry Medvedev, and he was saying very quietly, this is my last election. After my election, I'll have more flexibility, meaning I'll be more conciliatory to you, Russia. And so all of a sudden, magically, bing, 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 it's evil. The Russians are evil. Let's also not forget, ladies and gentlemen, it was Barack Hussein Obama in October of 2016 who said there is no serious person out there who would suggest that you could even rig America's elections. There is no evidence that that has occurred in the past or that there are instances that could happen this time. So I'd advise Mr. Trump to stop whining.
Wow.
Wonderful.
Wow.
Now, let's go to this.
I want to ask you real quick, BZ. Since he put sanctions on Russia so that they can't go to their resort house on the eastern shore of Maryland, that must be really tough.
It was horrible, absolutely horrible. These are sanctions. These are basically mean nothing, do nothing sanctions that have essentially stepped right out of the Cold War.
Exactly.
Here's what you do in politics. It's an axiom, an old axiom. You meet words with words and actions with actions.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're going to fight with words, you fight back with words. If you conduct actual actions, then that's how you meet them in kind. But the history of the United States for the past 8 years with regards to Russia and certainly with China is when it has acted against the United States, there have not been actions in kind in reverse.
Yes.
So therefore, logically, because they're human beings, the leaders of Russia and China have considered that Barack Hussein Obama is nothing but your basic paper tiger. There's also more information out indicating that the Russians were not necessarily responsible for this.
Mm-hmm.
Do I have time for that?
No, go right ahead. Go right ahead. We're talking with BZ, Sir Mark the Bloviating Zeppelin, and you can find his work on the Voice of Liberty page. Go right ahead, sir.
There's an article that I found on a site called WordFence. And WordFence is essentially a reference product for those people who have WordPress. In my blog, I happen to be powered by WordPress.
Mm-hmm.
So I actually pay for all that stuff myself.
Yeah.
There's an article, oh my God, a lengthy article on WordPress. And if you're a geek, a computer geek, you probably understand it, but I don't. I went down, I read it as best I could before my brain glazed over, and I came down to the bottom because I'm a bottom line kind of guy.
Yes.
Now, these people at WordFence are not politically motivated, or at least they haven't said all that terrifically much in the past about where they sit. Yeah, you have a pretty good idea that they're leftists, but they've overall done a pretty good job out of not allowing politics to creep into that particular blog that they're on. So at the very bitty, teeny-weeny little bottom of this article, it says, overall conclusion. The IP addresses the DHS, that's the Department of Homeland Security, provided may have been used for an attack by a state actor like Russia. But they don't appear to provide any association with Russia.
Mm-hmm.
They are probably used by a wide range of other malicious actors, especially the 15% of IP addresses that are Tor exit nodes. I'm sorry, now he's starting to go a little bit geek on me there. The malware sample is old, widely used, and appears to be Ukrainian. It has no apparent relationship with Russian intelligence, and it would be an indicator of compromise for any website. Let me back off the quote here for a second. The reason they're saying that is because that particular kind of hack has been used before against WordPress, people who have WordPress blogs, like myself. So they've seen it, they know what to do for it, they know how to address the situation. The quote continues. You can find a public repository containing the data used in this report on GitHub. So basically, this is not a political analysis in the slightest. It's a technological examination of the facts that are yet known. And so, if you want to, and you want to get into the geek of it all, go to the website and take a peek at it. But the funny thing is, I always like to look, when I see an article that may be a bit contentious, I always like to go in there and look at the comments.
Mm-hmm.
And so I included some of the comments that are in there by people that really are not particularly politically motivated, but they sure as shite know about their computer stuff.
Mm-hmm.
One of the comments was, long story short, it doesn't have anything to do with Russia. May have been used by anyone indeed. However, Russia being able to use data centers located especially in Germany to hack against the U.S. is quite unlikely, with the German intelligence practically being subservient to U.S. intelligence, as recent leaks showed. And the comment said, what you appear to be saying is there's no smoking gun link even to Russia. Never mind the Russian government. Another comment says, it does appear that way. Unless the FBI DHS shares with additional IOCs, there's not really anything here we can use to make the connection. Another comment says, interesting that you find that what you find is on a non-political quest for the truth. I appreciate the work you did digging into this. It's hard to find a source that doesn't lean one way or the other and just provides cold, hard facts.
Mm-hmm.
Here's another interesting comment. Great article, but don't you think it's a confusing headline? Because if anything, your article shows that there is no smoking gun that leads back to Russia as a state actor. But here's the best comment of all, which I said, I think this guy nailed it in his comment. The problem with that reasoning is that this is also exactly what a non-governmental hacking job would look like. This is the crux of the biscuit right here. The burden of proof lies with those attempting to demonstrate a Russian plot to affect the election, which means that they need to find evidence that distinguishes a Russian hacking attempt from the null scenario. In the absence of such evidence, you have to assume, essentially, the null hypothesis, that it was more likely any of the many non-Russian, non-governmental actors capable of such an attack until further evidence is presented. I think that nails it on the head. So the stuff about Russia, yeah, bullcrap. Move on. Nothing to see here.
Nothing to see here.
These are not the Russians you're looking for. Now, that's not to say that Russia hasn't tried to hack the crap out of everything in the United States for years and years and years and years. But to get them to hack the American election, they can't get into the data machines. They can't get into the machines there. Those are all localized. There is no federal big massive center, luckily, yet, federalized where all the voting machines are all aligned up, although there may be a push for that in the future. Who knows?
Exactly.
But, you have to be mindful of anything. People are already saying that it was a malware bot that John Podesta got his stuff put out onto the web in the first place.
Yes!
He gets a link from malware.
And even he said that.
The crap that was in his email went out into the ozone.
Even he said that he screwed that up. And the person who was handling his IT basically said that he misnotified Podesta on advising him to go forward with clicking the button when he meant to tell him that he didn't want him to click the button at all. I mean, Podesta fell for the Nigerian prince thing, and Hillary Clinton paid the price for it. Is that basically it?
Oh, Ken, it really is almost that. It's so silly, stupid, and actually tragically frightening that these people could potentially have been running the planet for a while, that you don't even know to click on a link that you're not familiar with. And then you had Hillary Rodham Clinton saying that, bleach bit, is that something you use a cloth with? Are you a blithering bit? You must be kidding me. Go back to wherever you came from.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Bloviating Zeppelin. His work is on par with anything you can read in the Wall Street Journal. Sir Mark, the Bloviating Zeppelin, thank you so much for being with us tonight. Look forward to you coming back. Happy New Year, my brother.
Happy New Year to you, sir.
All right, ladies and gentlemen. We kicking the funk in this year, baby. When we come back, I'm going to make the big announcement of two people who will be joining Sir Mark and myself on the SHR Media family. Right after these messages, you're listening to the best in urban conservative talk. Kick that funk, baby.
Hey, it's Jersey Joe from the Reaver Common Sense. You can catch me every Wednesday night, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on shrmedia.com. It's every Wednesday night, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, shrmedia.com.
The Bloviating Zeppelin. He's big-footed enough radio shows to last a lifetime, courtesy of Sean, Clint, Ken, and Jersey Joe. Now it's time for him to waddle on his own 2 feet via the glorious SHR Media. Gird thy loins for the Bloviating Zeppelin's Berserk Bobcat Saloon, coming soon to ossicles near you. Excelsior.
From day's first light till night's last glimmer, your satisfaction is our responsibility. On the range or in the field of duty, you can rely on Brownell's lifetime guaranteed gun parts, tools, and supplies. Anytime, any place. It's how we've done business since 1939. Brownell's.
Have you heard the news? There's more to Prime than free. 2-day shipping on shoes. There are tons of movies ready to stream. It's like living in a film lover's dream. More to Prime. More to Prime.
I want to join. How much should I pay?
You can sign up for a free trial today. So let's say it one more time. There's more to Prime.
Now, Brownells, we know you may have only one shot to harvest that trophy, so we have thousands of accessories and replacement parts to improve your chances. We know how much you love to shoot, so our gunsmiths articles and videos will help you do more and get more out of your guns. We also value your hard work and money. That's why only Brownells backs up everything we sell with a 100% unconditional lifetime guarantee. Brownells, the world's largest supplier of firearm accessories and gunsmithing tools.
Ladies and gentlemen, I welcome you back to the Exceptional Conservative Show live from the nation's capital. We are certainly not ashamed of the good news of conservatism. What is the power of liberation, first to the Republican and then the socialist. And my goodness, Celeste Clavery is in here from New Orleans, Louisiana. We got people from Beltsville, Maryland, all over the world. If you look at that map of all the little red dots, those are people listening to the show right now from around the world. We are one of the most influential urban conservative talk shows. Scratch off urban. Thank you, Jeff Dunnitz. One of the most influential conservative talk shows in the world. And I want to tell you all tonight, big announcement tonight, SHR Media, in partnership with the TECN family, the Exceptional Conservative Network family, is about to add 2 big shows for 2017, and they will begin during the inauguration week of this year. Trump is coming home to Washington, D.C., out of the Trump Towers of New York, and we're going to welcome him. We'll be covering that during the course of the week in actual live coverage of the inaugural parade. Yes, yours truly, I will be there. But 2 new shows will be added to our network. My very best friend, who took a little time off from the conservative marketplace of ideas, he's come back, and he's coming back with gangbusters with his Fight Back Media group. But he had a heart attack right after a college bowl game a couple years ago. And his voice was literally silenced from most of the networks for a while as he recovered. But he's going to be back, and he's going to be bigger than ever. On the official Negro Day in America, Martin Luther King birthday, I will be welcoming our friend back to the TECN SHR family. None other than Willie Lawson will join us in a few weeks to start his 1 hour show Monday through Friday at 9:05 a.m. right after Shannon and Mike the right way. And after him on Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays at 10 a.m., 10:05 a.m., the Babylicious Diva of Business will be joining our family. And none other than Melanie Collette will have her own program on the TECN SHR Family Network. Yes, Money Talk with Melanie debuts also on Martin Luther King's birthday. So this is a huge, huge night. Not only to say that, but B-Zepp will be doing his own program right after ours on Tuesdays and Thursdays as a what is that bookends to the SHR Media Night. So as you can see, ladies and gentlemen, the exceptional one is serious. We're going to take back urban America like it's never been taken back before. We're going to slap it silly. I'm telling you, people will be listening from around the world. And Melanie's in the chat room right now, the Euro Pacific Bank Limited TECN chat room. She's saying, uber excited. Yes, we are uber excited to have the Babylicious Diva of Business. I think we're going to go with that. Since we call Shannon Wright the princess, we can call her the Babylicious Diva of Business. Well, we'll see how that works out. So ladies and gentlemen, want to return to a conversation that we were having earlier, and quite frankly, one in which I think is often maligned in our world of getting our financial lives better, is that somehow we have this common understanding in urban America that someone has to do my taxes for me because I can't do them for myself. And what happens is you open up the purview for individuals to take advantage of you, charging you $250 to do a 1040 easy when you can virtually do that thing for free in about 5 to 10 minutes. And the diva of business, that thing is catching on. Thank you, Mom. Oh my God, Melanie, we would not be able to live with Melanie when you start calling her the diva of business. She's going to ask me to pay for wardrobe. We can't do that. So ladies and gentlemen, thank you, Melanie, for joining the SHR family. We love you dearly, and also Willie Lawson. We're going to try to get them on the air tomorrow night in the first hour to talk with them. Babylicious Mamba. Thank you very much. But your EITC, people are out to get that thing. Can we explain some things to you first and foremost? There are only 3 groups of people that have unlimited representation rights to you. If you're going to get your taxes done, there are only 3 groups. 3 groups that have unlimited representation rights. They are enrolled agents with the Internal Revenue Service. That means that they're licensed directly by the IRS. They have passed all of the examinations, which normally takes a little bit of a while for study. And that they've had at least 72 years of continuing education every 3 years. Now, I love the IRS training. I really do. It's a comprehensive exam. It requires to demonstrate proficiency in federal tax planning, individual and business tax return preparation, and representation. You got to know your stuff to be an enrolled agent. Okay? So, ladies and gentlemen, that person, if you're going to ask someone to do your tax returns, ask to see if they are an enrolled agent. They can represent you in tax court. Certified public accountants. That means that they're licensed by state boards of accountancy. Period. There's no federal government thing for that. They are certified public accountants. CPAs take this thing very seriously. And Mamba's in the chat room. He'll tell you that. You can't just carry a title CPA and not be able to handle the business thereof. You have to pass examinations, uniform CPA examination, everything else. They can represent you in tax court. Attorneys who are licensed by state courts. I believe White Mamba is an attorney. And my man, brilliant man, I need to talk with you, Mamba, tomorrow morning if we get an opportunity about the future of TECN. All right? So we'll talk. Just want to slip that out to you. He's an attorney. He can do your tax return. You got to find people who have been trained to do your tax return as an attorney and can represent you, not only in specializing in tax preparation and planning, but can represent you in tax court. Okay? That means that if they screw up, you can say, hey, you got to represent me in court and tell them why you did what you did with your tax return. Ladies and gentlemen who are getting their EITC, you will probably never see any one of these three unless they volunteer through the Volunteer Income Tax Assistance Program or AARP. You won't see any one of these three. What you're going to get are individuals who have limited representation rights. Limited representation rights. That means that once they've done your tax return, you are on your own. Bam! Good luck. That means if I screw up your tax return, you're responsible for the fact that I screwed up your tax return. And good luck, sucker, because I got paid. I'm up out of this gangsta. You know what I'm saying? You'll never see me again. And ask how many days it takes for someone to go through some of these particular training programs to qualify to do your tax return. You would be livid when you find out. Limited representation rights. Some preparers without one of the above credentials have limited practice rights. They may only represent clients whose returns they prepared and signed, but only before revenue agents, customer service representatives, and similar IRS employees, including the Taxpayer Advocate Service. They cannot represent clients whose returns they did not prepare, and they cannot represent clients regarding appeals, or collection issues, even if they did prepare the return in question. Let me just tell you what they're telling you here. If you go to suffer sucker, it's what they say, suffer sucker. You go get someone to do your tax return and all they did was pass the examinations, they're not going to represent you in a tax court. And neither is the tax court waiting for you to receive their representation. They want you to address what was put on that form. That's why I'm telling you, so some of these forms you just need to learn how to do yourself. You will be a whole lot better at it. That means the annual filing season program participants, that's the Volunteer Income Tax Assistance Programs, will not represent you in a court of law. P10 holders, PTIM, taxpayers identification number holders, tax return preparers who have an active preparer tax identification number, but no professional credentials and do not participate in the annual filing season program are authorized to prepare tax returns, but not represent you in a court of law. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you're going to get your taxes done, if you're going to pay somebody $250 to do your 1040 EZ or to do your EITC, baby Bubba, find yourself an attorney, a certified public accountant, or an enrolled agent. Simple as that. But some of you all are so crafty and so shaky that you've been wanting people to do your taxes for you and do all kinds of hook, line, and sinker things for you to get extra something. Do not toy with the EITC. If you screw up one year, it takes a long time for you to qualify to get it back. Just telling you. So with the EITC, this is some of the stuff that you need to know. Taxable earned income includes wages, salaries, tips, and other taxable employee income. That disability payout insurance thing that I was telling you about, that's taxable income. But SSDI is not taxable income. You did not earn it. You cannot get the credit. Long-term disability benefits received prior to minimum retirement age. Net earnings from self-employment. If you earn less than $20,000, you are eligible for the EITC as a self-employed person. You have to own or operate a business or a farm, which means that you're going to have to get a tax identification number, of course. You are a minister or use your own Social Security number. You are a minister or member of a religious order, or you are a statutory employee and have income. Non-taxable combat pay election. You can elect to have your non-taxable combat pay included in earned income for EITC. Just letting you know that. Now, who qualifies for it? If you have earned income, adjusted income within certain limits, and you meet certain basic rules, and you either meet the rules for those without a qualifying child or have a child that meets all the qualifying child rules for you, or your spouse, if you filed a joint return, you qualify. Now, that's a whole lot of stuff, but here are some basic rules that you need to know. Your Social Security number's got to be legit. Legit. That means the Social Security number of the child that you use has to be a legitimate. That Social Security number cannot have been used on a tax return prior to you using it. If you have plans on using someone else's child on your tax return, there is a special form that you must use giving you permission to use that child as a dependent on yours. Otherwise, it's not legit. The filing status that you have to have. You have to be married, filing jointly. I'm telling you, the benefits of being married. Really. You have to be head of household. Qualifying widow or widower. That means that someone died, your husband died, and you get to claim the kids for a special amount of time as qualifying widow. And then after that, you can go to head of household if you don't get married and you still have the children. Now, you can also do single, but that requires you, that means that you were working but didn't earn enough money. You cannot claim the EITC if your filing status is married filing separately. Married filing separately, people do not get the EITC. Be very careful how you use that status. We'll be talking about that over the next 4 weeks. Statuses, and actually getting to the point where you do your tax return absolutely free. Also, here's the income requirement. Okay. For the 2016 tax year, your tax year investment income must be $3,400 or less for the year. If you're grandma and you happen to take a little something out, or you got some investment income during the course of the year, and it's $3,401, you will not qualify for the EITC. You're going to ask me, how do they know that? Because you're going to receive some type of form, a 1099 form, that indicates from the investment company that you receive this type of income. Even if you don't bring it to me, the IRS already has it. So stop the funk. If you got the cash, show them. We'll find other ways to help you out. You must not file Form 2555, Foreign Earned Income, or Form 2555-EZ, Foreign Earned Income Exclusion. Your total earned income must be at least $1. At least $1. They will not take less than $1 on the tax return. And both your earned income and adjusted gross income must be no more than $14,880 for single, head of household, or surviving spouse if you have 0 qualifying children. If you have 0 qualifying children and you're married, filing jointly, it's $20,430. If you have 1 child and you're single, head of household, or surviving spouse, you can have income over $39,296. And if you're married, filing separately, $44,846. Now, the most that you can have for 3 children, single, head of household, or surviving spouse, $47,955. Married, filing jointly, $53,505. Why am I talking with you about the EITC? Because the EITC allows you to pick up almost $6,000 of income. Well, not taxable income. $6,000 based on how much you earned during the year. Ladies and gentlemen, don't let people steal your money. If you didn't learn anything else tonight, and trust me, we'll be following up on this on the next 4 Mondays. But if you didn't learn anything else tonight, remember this. God has blessed America. It's time for America to bless God. We will see you in the new year again tomorrow night with more of the best in urban conservative talk. God bless you, and God bless the U.S. of A.
Well, I got a woman way over town that's good to me. Oh yeah, say I got a woman way over town, good to me. Oh yeah, she give me money